From Carl Malone's son resenting him after years away to Dennis Rodman only showing up when cameras were rolling.
When he showed up at my game, I was like so mad.
To Julius Erving hiding a daughter until Wimbledon revealed the truth, these NBA legends left their kids hurt and distant. Carl Malone. When Carl Malone comes to mind, we picture the Utah Jazz legend, a two-time MVP and one of the greatest power forwards in NBA history. On the court, the mailman, always delivered. Off the court, however, his legacy is defined by abandonment, denial, and emotional damage.
Carl Malone was 20 years old, impregnated a 13-year-old, got the fuck away from her, wanted nothing to do with the baby.
Through this unethical act, Malone fathered a son, Demetrius Bell, and around the same time, twins Daryl and Cheryl Ford. He refused to take responsibility, offering no support and denying paternity, leaving his children to grow up without him. For them, the pain wasn't just absence, it was watching their father rise to fame, wealth, and admiration while they were ignored. Demetrius Bell later made it to the NFL without Malone's help, and when Malone finally acknowledged him, the damage was already done. Malone admitted it was too late to build a real relationship. Resentment lingers, not because Malone failed on the court, but because he chose success while his children grew up without a father, carrying wounds that time, money, and apologies could never fully heal. As disturbing as Malone's story is, it's far from unique in NBA history. Dennis Rodman. Unlike Carl Malone's consistency, Dennis Rodman was chaos incarnate, an unpredictable force whose rebounding brilliance and bad boy persona made him unforgettable. A five-time NBA champion, Rodman's volatility extended beyond basketball and into fatherhood. His daughter, Trinity Rodman, is a professional soccer player but grew up with little contact from her father, financial neglect, and even periods of homelessness despite his fame. Her experiences contrast sharply with Rodman's public image as a harmless eccentric.
Dad. Maybe by blood, but nothing else. Showed up at my game. I was like so mad. And then I walk over, and again, there's cameras everywhere. Dennis Rodman's at the game, blah, blah. And I walk over there, and all I did was cry. I was like, I'm walking over there so mad, like, F you. I walk over there, he grabs my head, and I just start bawling into his arms as if like it's a daddy doll.
For Trinity, the pain wasn't just absence. It was a performative presence, driven by cameras rather than genuine care. Financial neglect was severe too. By 2012, Rodman owed over $850,000 in child support. Rodman has cited his own absent father and struggles with alcoholism, pointing to a generational cycle of dysfunction. In 2024, he publicly apologized and expressed a desire to reconnect with Trinity.
I mean, everybody else can say what they want to say about me. It doesn't matter.
The divorce happened, it was just like, you guys, like, we're not getting enough money to, we're getting enough money to pay rent, barely. We had an expedition, and we kind of lived in that for a little bit.
An expedition like a car?
Yeah.
Okay.
We tried to live with him, but he's having parties 24/7. He's bringing random in. Like, he loves the spotlight. He loves the cameras. He loves bringing his children on stage.
Whether reconciliation is possible remains uncertain, but the public nature of the apology highlights how fractured their relationship remains. Rodman's story fits the pattern of absentee celebrity fathers, yet stands out for how publicly and painfully that distance played out. Larry Bird. Larry Bird is basketball royalty, a three-time MVP and Boston Celtics legend whose rivalry with Magic Johnson defined an era. His greatness came from fundamentals, elite basketball IQ, and unmatched court vision. Off the court, however, Bird struggled with fatherhood. His daughter, Corey Bird, was born from a short-lived marriage, and their relationship was marked by distance from the start. Bird initially denied paternity, and even after it was confirmed, his involvement remained mostly financial, with little emotional connection. What makes Corey's story especially painful is her effort to reach out. As a child, she sent letters and photos, hoping to form a bond, but was met mostly with silence, a message of rejection and emotional distance that lingered for years. Bird later admitted, "I've never really known how to handle the situation." Awareness, however, came decades too late. Small improvements may have occurred later, but the relationship was shaped more by missed opportunities than reconciliation. Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen's legacy is legendary. 6 NBA championships with the Chicago Bulls and a small forward who redefined versatility and defense. Off the court, however, his family story is marked by conflict, denial, and legal battles over paternity. Pippen initially denied being the father of his daughter, Sierra, until court-ordered DNA testing in the 1990s confirmed paternity. That rejection sent a clear message. I don't want this child to be mine. Growing up knowing her father fought to deny her caused wounds no court order could erase. He also fathered twins with his ex, Sonia Roby, Taylor and Tyler. After Tyler's tragic death shortly after birth, Pippen still contested paternity before settling. Taylor said bluntly, "I don't know what he's like as a father. He never wanted to meet me. He decided that it would be like that." While Pippen later provided financial support, this was only the bare minimum. One account notes, "This illustrates delayed acceptance. Years of rejection that no amount of belated acknowledgement can erase from a child's memory or heart."
Like an ick for me when they're like a fan of my dad. I don't know why, and I hate that it's that way, but it's true. It's an ick for me. It's a major ick. I'm like, ooh, like you have posters of them in your basement?
Though he eventually acknowledged his children, the delayed acceptance and legal battles highlight a pattern of avoidance, far from the devotion his on-court legend might suggest. As disturbing as Pippen's story is, it's far from unique in NBA history. Julius Erving. Julius Dr. J. Erving is basketball royalty, a pioneer whose soaring style shaped the modern game. Yet behind his brilliance lay a long-hidden secret, a daughter, Alexandra Stevenson, born from an extramarital affair. What makes this story striking isn't the affair itself, but the complete concealment of Alexandra's existence. Her father actively denied her, keeping her hidden to protect his public image. The truth emerged in 1999 when Alexandra's success at Wimbledon revealed her parentage. There had been no contact, milestones, or guidance during her childhood. Their first meeting didn't occur until 2008, when she was already an adult. Years later, Erving addressed her birth clinically in his autobiography. Alexandra Stevenson was born because her mother had braces. The remark stunned readers, reducing Alexandra's existence to a footnote and revealing deliberate emotional detachment. This was absence by choice, not circumstance, with profound consequences for a daughter denied her father, Shawn Kemp. Shawn Kemp was a force of nature on the court, a high-flying all-star for the Seattle Supersonics whose dunks and athleticism defined the 1990s. Off the court, his life was far more complicated. Kemp fathered at least 7 children with 6 different women, creating a web of responsibilities that was difficult to manage.
Off the court, Shawn Kemp had a very interesting life. 7 kids by 6 different women.
Financial demands were immense. By 2015, Kemp faced over $100,000 in monthly child support. While he provided support in some cases, disputes over access and the scale of his responsibilities made his involvement inconsistent. Mothers described him as fragmented, present in pieces but never fully. The tragedy lies in what each child missed: attention, guidance, and a fully present father. Kemp's story reflects the challenges of balancing fame, money, and parenthood, a theme shared by other NBA stars whose personal lives sometimes led to darker controversies. Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson entered the NBA with fanfare. Known as Grandmama for his Knicks and Hornets days, his play in commercials made him a household name. Off the court, however, his personal life was troubled. Johnson fathered 5 children with 4 women, a situation similar to Shawn Kemp's, but his story also includes allegations of pressuring a woman to have an abortion and facing harassment claims, showing neglect and hostility toward responsibility. By 2015, he owed nearly $900,000 in child support and even filed for bankruptcy, reflecting years of unmet obligations. Contact with some children was limited, highlighting both financial and emotional absence. Johnson's legal battles are a cautionary tale about avoiding responsibility. But as serious as his story is, it's overshadowed by allegations against another NBA star involving criminal charges. Calvin Murphy. Calvin Murphy is a Houston Rockets Hall of Famer, renowned for his talent and competitiveness despite being just 5 feet 9 inches tall. Off the court, his family life is complicated.
Calvin Murphy, by the way, is the winner.
Yeah.
14 kids by 9 different women.
Yeah. And that's my OG, man.
That's your OG?
And I asked him about that, and he just said, hey, you know, I was having fun.
Murphy's legacy was further clouded by allegations from 5 daughters accusing him of sexual abuse between 1988 and 1991. He faced criminal charges and was acquitted in 2004. Legally cleared, the emotional damage remained profound, highlighting deep fractures within the family. Even with a not guilty verdict, the relationships remain strained, showing that legal outcomes cannot repair emotional harm. Murphy's story illustrates how NBA players can be estranged from their children not only through neglect or finances, but also through profound family dysfunction. Shifting from abuse allegations to more common issues, other NBA stories show how financial irresponsibility and neglect can also fracture family bonds. Kenny Anderson. Kenny Anderson's NBA career was remarkable, earning $63 million as a guard for the Nets and Hawks. Off the court, however, his story became a cautionary tale of financial mismanagement and its impact on family. Anderson fathered 7 children with 4 women but mismanaged his earnings and eventually filed for bankruptcy. By 2012, he owed $800,000 in back child support, leading to legal warrants. While he eventually settled, the damage to his relationships was already done. Ex-wives, including Tammy Roman, reported inconsistent payments, showing how financial instability erodes trust and signals that children's needs are secondary. Anderson's story demonstrates that wealth alone does not guarantee responsible parenting or a secure parent-child bond. Fortunately, his struggles were largely financial rather than involving custody battles. But as our next NBA legend shows, some cases of broken fatherhood went even further. Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh represents a different case among NBA players estranged from their children. Unlike outright abandonment, his story centers on bitter custody disputes, showing the challenges when relationships end badly and children are caught in the middle. The focus is on his daughter, Trinity, and her mother, Allison Mathesy. Conflict began when Bosh evicted his pregnant ex, leading to years of legal battles over child support, with Mathesy seeking $30,000 per month. These disputes continued until a 2014 settlement established joint custody, allowing Trinity to maintain a relationship with both parents. Despite the resolution, early experiences of perceived abandonment left lasting marks. When support and custody are fought over rather than freely given, it changes the parent-child bond. Bosh's case stands out because, unlike many others, it shows some progress toward co-parenting.
The hardest part for me being a father is being away from my kids. Sometimes you miss out so much. So, I work with the time I have, and we always spend time together. The easiest part is you can be a kid. You want to see the smile on your kids' faces, so you do anything.
While mediation helped, the fact that Bosh evicted a pregnant woman and contested support underscores how unresolved adult conflicts can overshadow a child's needs.